It's a good speed to be going in the cemetery, innit? About 60 mile an hour. Well, I thought I'd just come on for a minute. One, to let you know I'm in my favourite place ever. Hello everybody. It's only going to be a quick live today. I've been in all day working, and I wanted to come out and just walk about a bit. So I thought, where's the best place for me to go? And that's I can't even speak. I don't know what's up with me recently. Chadderton Cemetery. This is the first ever grave that I got attached to in Chadderton Cemetery. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The reason why I'm here, I've actually got a video coming up. You know, I did it a few days ago, and I've had it edited up to put on the channel. So that's a proper video. Well, the first one that I filmed with my gimbal, and I think it looks a lot better. So I'm gonna load that up onto the site once I get back. But yeah, I thought I'd just come out, and I like to walk around, and I want to show you something on this grave, because unless you're watching my grave videos, you won't have seen this, or you might not. But I noticed this stone a while ago. The guy's called Wilde, and look at that. He was the founder of the Oldham Evening Express. So not the Cron. I think he started off something crazy like a tailor, and then he went into printing, and yeah, he basically founded the Oldham Evening Express. So in this graveyard, as I've said before, this particular grave here, I know quite a lot of them now. This is John Dodd, the Hollies that I featured recently that's been knocked down. He lived in the Hollies, and I think he was probably one of the last people to have it before they turned it into a health facility or mental health facility or whatever it was at the time. But all these graves that you see down here, every single one of these graves, I mean, this was the area that you got buried if you had money, basically. So a lot of the people that are buried down here, very influential ones, you know, you got John Dodd, he died worth millions. Just over there, by the way, beyond the blue Fiesta, is the tomb of John Platt. Sorry, I'm just trying to... I feel better now, but I've still got the tickling in my throat. So I think when I go back to the doctor, I'm going to see if she can give me something to try and stave that off. I don't know, sometimes when I breathe in, it just really tickles. So it's just part of my condition, isn't it? Anyway, crikey. What I was saying was, a lot of these people down here are very, very influential. Now look at the Platt plot. Now I call it the Platt plot because you've got this tomb here. Now, one of my subscribers told me that below this tomb is a massive sort of open space, and within there are glass cabinets. And inside the glass cabinets are all the graves. Now, I'm pretty sure, well, I know that John Platt, you know, the man who's got his statue in Oldham Library. Oh, thanks, Manchester guy. You know what, I swear to God, I feel on top of the world at the moment. And I've had this bloody coughing thing. I swear to God, I know people don't believe me, but I've had it since I was a child, and I just can't sort of shake coughs very easily. But I'm on medicine for the doctors now, and I feel much better than the other day. So it's a work in progress. I've got to go for tests. Thanks, Wackass. So anyway, what I was saying, so you've got John Platt's tomb there, which is unbelievable. Just look at the roof of it. I know I bore you with my graves all the time, but I just think they're just works of art, some of them. Look at that. You see how it looks like it's got Celtic stuff round. He ended up buying a house out in Wales. He built it, it's very similar to Ashway Gap, which was his house that he had at the reservoir up on the top. So I always forget the name of it, I don't know why. And he also had an estate in Werneth Park when it was a gated community. He lived with, along with Eli Leaves, who's buried down there, and the Radcliffes that were buried there. But yeah, all of these people, the Platts. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk you around and show you. Again, I've done videos on these, so I'm sorry if it's, you know, if I'm repeating, but I just like to talk about them. I think they're a great story, and I'm really impressed with this grave. The grave we're going to now is James Platt, who was the older brother of John Platt, who got murdered. I say murdered, he didn't get murdered, sorry. He died of course of an accident because he was shot by the Mayor of Oldham. They went shooting at Ashway Gap, which was the shooting lodge that they had. Big, tremendous, beautiful, what's the imaging? You know, big mansion. The weekend house, you know. And yeah, he went up there shooting, and Josiah, the man who donated the fountain into Alexander Park, who was also a member of his family, he was married to a sister or something. Yeah, he stumbled on a rock and he shot him. Like I say, I've told the story a few times before, but he shot him. And they carried him back to Ashway, shot him in the leg, and they carried him back to Ashway Gap, which was a big, massive shotgun, and it blew his calf off, basically. So by the time they got him back to Ashway Gap, carried him up the stairs and put him on the bed, and he just bled out. They sent for the doctors from Manchester and Staley Bridge, Oldham, but yeah, they couldn't save him. So I was saying before at the beginning, I've got a video that I've done. It's going to be called The Legacy of Mary Higgs, who was a very important, influential woman of Oldham. I've done a story on her. Several people have written books about her. I've not taken anything out of a book. I never do that. Read books, of course, but I don't plagiarise. That's one thing I don't do, and I think that's pretty much apparent in my delivery. But yeah, I've told the story in my own words, and I've put pictures in for you as usual, and footage and all of that. So when I get back home, I'll put it on. So James Platt, Esquire, MP of this borough. So he was a member of Parliament. He was elected, and look at his death date, 1857, born in 1824. On the other side is his wife. And there's a really strange tomb here, and I've tried to find out who the bloody hell it is. I might try again, because sometimes Lucy Mary Platt, that's his wife. She died in 1862. She died young as well, didn't she? And then also look at this. This is interesting. Memory of Benjamin Little, born 31st July 1793, died in 1851, and he's buried at St Margaret's Church, Hollingwood. That church in Hollingwood, you know, is a very, very interesting one. In fact, I'm doing a video very, very soon on that. As well as, and this will be to you lot on the stream. I have mentioned it in my latest video, but I'll tell you now. I've managed to obtain permission to go into Oldham Church and to film it. So I'm delighted. I spoke with someone from the church the other day, and he's basically said, yep, no problem, you can come in. So the fabulous little spooky massive dinosaur. It is. Oh, this grave here is a very interesting grave. It's the grave of, there's a fella stalking here in a jag. It's the grave of Eli Lees. He died at his place in Lancaster Gate in London. He was the father of Charles Lees, who founded or started the Oldham Art Gallery, blah, blah, blah. He's smiling at me, that fella. What was I going to say? Right, yes, so I'm doing Oldham Church. So I've got permission. I'm going to be doing the interior of the church, which is beautiful. We're going up to the belfry. and we're going to be going into the crypt as well. So it's going to be a mammoth video. I'm even going to buy an extra battery and an extra SIM card for my phone, for my camera, because I want to make absolutely sure, given this opportunity. Have you, Sarah? What was it? Yeah, I want to make sure, given the opportunity, that it's starting to rain, but I'm not bothered, that I make the most of it. I think it'll be an amazing video, and I'm delighted. You know what, I was just thinking then, I couldn't remember where my car is, but it's parked right up there. I like Oldham Cemetery, I live back to back from it. Oh, can you? You're lucky get. You know that Hollywood Cemetery? I do go in there quite a lot, you know, because, well, it's a cemetery, innit? And that's what I like to do. And, you know, I like to go and research the people in there. In fact, I've seen a few more interesting graves in here today that I'm going to research. So there might be some exciting stories I can uncover with that. Oh, also, other news, next Wednesday, so a week today in the morning, I'm going to be going on Oldham Radio, Oldham Community Radio. I think I'm going on for the morning, so I think I'm just going to be pitching in every now and again. I'm going to be talking about the channel, and several other things, I would imagine, you know, anything that, you know, they want to know, they can ask. So if you're able to listen, please tune in. I'm not the slightest, I'm not even a little bit worried about it. In fact, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm not just saying this for the sake of it, but Oldham Community Radio is my favourite radio. Look at this here. How beautiful are them? It's got green paint on it, which is now frosted off, come off. The ghost came from the grave when I was working on a night shift. From the graveyard. How do you research, please? How do I research? Just YouTube. Sorry. I use various different platforms. I mean, a lot of it comes off the internet, as you can imagine. I read a lot. I know a lot. My grandfather told me tales. When I was growing up, he used to tell me tales all the time about... I mean, I've got some stories that are really amazing, and I plan on telling them, but it's just, there's always something coming up that I want to film, you know. But yeah, my grandfather told me, there's a man called Norman Ravy. In fact, he's buried in here on the other side. But he told me all sorts of stories when I was growing up, the old Oldham tales, and I've sort of remembered quite a lot of them, and my mum knows a lot, and my aunties know a lot. You know, we're a family really that, you know, that have always taken an interest in the town. My great grandfather James, he came over from Ireland, Northern Ireland, Belfast he was from. He came over in the early 1900s, and he knew a lot of people. And you know, my granddad Norman, he was a coalman in Oldham for years, a very kind man. He used to give coal to people who, when, you know, when people were skint, he knew they were skint, he used to give them like a bit of extra on the side, you know, just to help them out. That's the type of bloke he was. But he knew a lot of people in Oldham, and people used to talk back then, didn't they? And, so yeah, a lot of it comes from that. Internet searches. Books, there's loads of books that have been written about Oldham, and you know what, it's not necessarily what you see in the story. I don't necessarily see the story. Yes, I see the story, and sometimes I'll tell the story in my own words, but other times I sort of pick names out and research them as individuals, and they may not have stories written about them, you know, to say, but I'd have to show you, you know, what I do really, but it's a little bit of an obsession, but only because I really enjoy it. You know, it's what I like to do. I mean, certainly during lockdown, you know, there's been nothing else to do, no pubs, no restaurants, not that I go Charlie Main pubs anymore, but yeah, it's like, that's it really. That's how I've been able to sort of hone my skills, and thankfully now I've got a great channel. The other thing that that I want you to all know, I mentioned it the other day, I've decided to take the adverts off my videos. I mentioned the reason why the other day. I'll touch on it very briefly because I might be boring you to death. You might have heard me say it a million times. But I've decided that it's not really good for my viewers, because it doesn't make you much. I don't get that many views to earn a lot of money out of it, and it's negative really, because I started, when I started the channel off and I was doing videos and I was, I'm going to show you this brilliant, I'm going to take you to this grave that I want to show you. It's beautiful. And it's right away around the back there. That's the old, Oldham won't be what it is. Oh, I didn't see that. I'll have to wait. I'm going to keep my eye on the messages. I'm going to look through the bloody screen today because I'm shite at this. Yeah, what I found I was doing when I started the channel, I love Oldham's history, and that's what I want to do. I want to tell Oldham's history, but I don't want to tell, I want to tell the known history, but I want to I find stuff all the time, which other people might know, but I never did. So to me, it's like a big discovery. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I got to 1,000 subscribers and I was like, yeah, delighted, right, brilliant, get me ads on. That wasn't why I wanted to get to 1,000. I want to grow the channel because I like people to enjoy it, do you know what I mean? But anyway, I got to this 1,000 subscribers and then I could put these adverts on. And then for the last few weeks, I've been spending time looking at the analytics all the time and watching the money, and you know what, the money's nothing. It's dropped back down to £29 again today. Yes, David. Hey, David, we should definitely do it again. I told you, that little plan that we have, definitely be a brilliant one, that. Yeah, so anyway, I started, what, do you like that music? Is that what it is? I really like that new intro. I like the fella in the cloak. Oh, look at that little beauty there. Like Chris the Butcher said, YouTube will still put ads. You know what? Chris did say that. I read some data on it, and apparently they only do that. Chris knows a lot more than I do. Again, like I say, I'm just trying it out. But the only way, usually, according to what I read on some forums, the only way they usually do that, that old grave, is if you've done like a violation, like if you've done like a copyright violation, and they'll let you keep it up, but they won't let you earn any money, but they'll still put adverts on it. Do you know what I mean? This is interesting. Loving remembrance of Mary Jane, wife of James Landman, who died December 24th, 1870, aged, I think 70, I can't read it. That's interesting. Have you seen the writing? You don't usually see writing like that on graveyards. Where's that bloody grave that I wanted to show you? I've lost my bearings completely. Oh, it's round here. It's absolutely pouring down now, by the way. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah, so I started looking at the analytics all the time, and I was sort of thinking, all right, what videos can I make that I'm going to get me loads of views? And then I thought, and the other day, and I just thought, what difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference if I get 10 views or 10,000 views. Do you know what I mean? The whole point of the channel, the whole reason I started doing it and I invested money in equipment and everything was because I wanted to make nice videos for not only my memories but for everybody else. I thought, I'm going to get rid of it because it's just not worth it to me. And then there was an incident when basically what happened was my money kept jumping up and down. Now, I know why it does it now, but I didn't know at the time. And you get support from YouTube once you get to 1,000 views. You're able to message them and stuff. And I said to this fella, I don't understand why my money's going up and down. I said, what's causing it, And he said, well, what happens? He says, Google will do searches and YouTube will do searches. This is the grave, look at it. It's in memory of John George Blackburn. For the life of me, I cannot find any info on him. I will keep looking, but look how beautiful it is. Just look at that. I mean, can you imagine that now? How much that would cost to have it done? These people had proper money, you know. There's another one here, actually. I didn't see this one before. I'm going to walk back round the path now, and I'm getting absolutely soaked. Yeah, anyway, so they said to me, it's when you're getting basically when I'm getting views that I shouldn't be getting, or I'm making up accounts, and I'm obsessively going and then, you know, doing fake views. That's what it were. The words they used weren't that, but it meant fake views. And I thought, what? And then he sent me this message, and I said, well, I'm not doing anything. I said, I'm just a woman who lives in arse end of Oldham. Do you know what I mean? Who makes a few videos every now and again. And I says, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it, you know, like. And he went, well, all I can tell you is if it carries on, you'll get your account deleted. And I thought, what? How can that be fair? How can my account get deleted for something that I can't control? Anyway, that was when I didn't know anything. So that sort of got me on to thinking, you know what, for what works out at like £4 a week, is it really worth it? And especially when I'm not bothered, do you know what I mean? I mean, it's nice if I can get help for the channel, because I do fork out on stuff, you know. But you know what, if I don't, it doesn't really matter, because I'm still going to do it anyway. And I suppose if people want to, then they will. If they don't, then they won't. And, you know, that's it. I'll give people an option too if they want to. I want to look at this. Look at this beauty. Look, it's horses. Oh, wow, look at this. It's William Dawson of Butcher's Arms, Shaw Road, who died September 16th, 1913, aged 73. Hey, I'll tell you something else as well. I was doing some searches the other day, and I managed to find a load of places that have basically gone. Pubs, hotels that I've never even heard of before, that used to be on the likes of Clegg Street in Oldham, which, you know, it's all been demolished now for Sainsbury's, and the shopping centre's only a bit of it left, and all around St Peter's Street, and it was amazing. So I'm starting to waffle again now, aren't I? Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to say, I've got a video that's being uploaded in a bit for those who didn't hear it before. I did it a few days ago. I edited it up. I was going to post it to the site, but I'd put that many bloody videos on. I thought I'll probably just get lost among everything. At the moment, I just feel like I really want to do a lot of vids. You know, probably because it's been so crap, you know, being locked in. And hey, look at this. This is an interesting one for you. Joseph Booth of Henshaw Street. Oh, are you, Michael? Thanks, Michael, love. Right, so like at Henshaw Street, Oldham, that's basically the marketplace now. But interesting, look at this. And then you've got Elizabeth, wife of John Lord of Marketplace. And it's a shame they don't say. I'll have a look at that, actually. I'll have a look into them. And it's a shame they don't. Sometimes they'll write on, you know, where they lived or what they did, but not all the time. Orsay Street, that reminds me, I've got some, thanks to Dave Scholes, my wonderful new friend, I've come into my possession. He gave me some information that's actually very, very rare, about Oldham. And he gave it to me. It was so kind of him. I mean, I was blown away at the kindness, you know. And we met here at the cemetery, and we had a good walk around. He's a brilliant bloke. Yeah, and I'm very thankful. If you're still watching, Dave, I'm very thankful for that information, and I've still got it. Obviously, I've still got it, but I'm looking after it, I mean. And I'm just starting to tap into it now, really. But there's a story about, there's a mention of a place near Horsehead Street in Oldham. I don't want to say any more, but not because it's a big secret, but I want to do a video on it. And I think I might have found the people who lived in it. but I need to research it. But I'm telling you now, I'm going to make the video about it anyway, because I'm going to do Horsehead Street and all around there. I know I've done the St Mary's. I know I've done, you know, the Rifle Range and that, and Hedge. But I haven't really done Horsehead Street or the back streets, you know, so I'm definitely going to do that soon. But part of the video is going to be the mention of this building, which I think is absolutely fascinating. And I'd never heard of it before, and when I saw it, my eyes nearly popped out my head. So, this is live. I was looking at this before, you know. And God, shall I finish my story about Horsehead Street first? So yeah, so I'm going to do a video on Horsehead Street. I'm going to do a video on this particular building, and if I can get all my ducks in a row and I can find the information that I'm hoping I can find, it should be an amazing video, history-wise, you know. The other thing as well, I've been in on my own all day today, just emailing and, you know, I had a couple of meetings on Skype and stuff, but apart from that, I've not spoke to anyone, so that's why I'm just waffling now. But look at this one here, Andrew Schofield of of Landudno and family of Woodfield, Oldham, a magistrate for the county of Lancaster, born in 1798, died in 1878, and then his wife Eliza's in there as well. They had a lot of money, people back then. My friend's just ringing me, but I'll ring him back. Ring him back in a bit. What else was I going to say? Can't remember now. So yeah, I mentioned I was doing the Oldham Church video, and that's pretty much it. I think I'm stumped for words now. Probably because that guy's just rang me and I really need to speak to him. But I'll ring him back. So anyway, listen, what I was going to do, you know, I did a video a while ago where I did sort of a detailed tour of various different graves within Chadderton Cemetery. Now, that was a portion of the people I know about. There's lots of graves that I can tell stories on. Influential people who have real stories, you know, that are poignant to Oldham's history. So if you want... Do you, Peter? You know what? I speak to Clark here quite a lot. Well, don't speak to him. He's not, you know, I've not got a telephone number. But yeah, his channel's amazing. He's absolutely amazing, and I think he's a really nice guy. And he's a great help to me as well, because you know, like if I'm wondering about something, he's like, yeah, no problem. So he's just so happy to help me out. He's just such a nice guy, and he's got a lot of time for people. And his content is amazing. You know, you can see that he spends a lot of time, you know, thinking about it, planning it and filming it. He's got a real talent, and I like him a lot. Yeah, I think he's a superb bloke. And I do watch his channel. I didn't see the grave one though, but in saying that, I was busy yesterday because my mum stayed. I want to show you these two graves. Yeah, gravedigger. I bet you don't use a spade anymore though, do you? You just use the little JCB. See these two graves here? You've got Fred Rothwell of Wilton Place, Edward Street, Oldham. Now, if you know Edward Street in Oldham, that's now the probation office, halfway house for people that are coming out of prison or that are on remand, I think. My auntie used to work in there a long time ago, but I don't really know much about it. But that Fred Rothwell used to live there when it was a house. And then you've got Alfred Rothwell. Alfred died at 44, died at a very young age. And he lived in a place called... Oh, thanks, Clarky, mate. I didn't know you were watching. Bloody hell. Yeah, anyway, so Fred Rothwell of Wilton Place, which is the probation, and this is his brother, Alfred. Alfred had a beautiful house up Saddleworth called, in fact it's in Delft, and it's called Stoneswood, and it's been turned into an old folks home now. It's absolutely beautiful. But the story behind these two, oh, my battery's low, I'm going to have to go. The story behind these two is they were motor car manufacturers in Oldham in the early 1900s. They had premises just off Gas Street in Oldham. Mini digger, I knew you did, yeah, still it's scary that. What about when you have to open up graves and stuff? But you have to be very careful, don't you? Because obviously you wouldn't want to smash through the top of one that's already in, would you? Yeah, so these two Rothwell brothers, I've got a video on my channel if you're interested, but yeah, they manufactured cars. They started off as engineers. I'm pretty sure they trained at Platt's, but I might be completely wrong at that, so don't come and scream at me if I'm wrong. But both engineers, and yeah, they basically built cars. They started off building sewing machines, and then they built a motorbike, and then they built cars. And apparently one of the cars is on display. It was given to Oldham Library by a guy up in Sheffield, I think it was, because he had it in his garage. Yeah, you'd have to be, Peter. But yeah, one of their cars is in Oldham Art Gallery. And one of the things that I want to do, one of the videos that I want to do, and I've been told that I can do. I just need to get back in touch with her. When the art gallery reopens, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a video. I've been told I can, and I'm going to do it because the likes of the Rothwells, their work's all in there. All the paintings of Charles Lee's, they're all in there. All the pictures of the influential Oldhamers and just loads of Oldham history is obviously in there. You've got the, I did a video about the hermit